welcome back to the Cool Fears channel. I'm your host, Jester the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And welcome to episode 71 of Coffee and Toys, guys. I do want to apologize for my voice. I had a ridiculously brutal leg day with my training partner this past Wednesday. And well, it got to the point where my body just couldn't handle it, and I actually ended up puking. And so what happened essentially is it just really fucked up my throat. So you're going to see me drinking more coffee during this podcast than you probably have seen me before in any other one, because my throat gets dry really quick, and that's why I can't really project and speak too loudly. It's probably not even a good idea to be doing this in the first place. I should just be letting my throat rest. But I figured, maybe if I just do it in a nice calm tone voice, it'll work out a little bit better, right? So I do want to apologize for that, but that's the reason why my voice is going to be a little lower on the register this week. But aside from that, guys, as always, we're going to go over this week's channel updates, this week's toy haul, this week's toy news, and so much more. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel's all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit that bell notification icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. If you do enjoy this video or any other videos that I put out, please remember to give them a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. With all that being said, guys, once again, welcome to episode 71 of Coffee and Toys, guys. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. No, I'm not trying to play a trick or do one of those fancy YouTube tests, brain tests on you guys. But yes, there is a DeLorean on the table now. Essentially what happened is I completely forgot to put this guy on the table, and I remembered because it is a part of this week's toy haul. So we'll get into that. But first and foremost, as always, channel updates. No new real channel updates as of now. The only real channel update is that, I kind of decided to take this past week off. I started off the week running a little behind and stuff. I have just started 10-week diet, 10-week cut plan. I've been bulking for the past year and a half, and so I decided, summer's right around the corner. Why not lean out a bit, kind of look good for the beaches and whatnot. Not that I go to the beaches here in LA, but either way, I just started a 10-week cut, so, figuring out my meal plan, getting on my meal plan, it just kind of threw me off and everything. But then also, I got ahead, and then I got comfortable. It's just, when I first started YouTube back in 2020, during the pandemic, it was something to do when there was nothing to do, and I think that was the case for a lot of people. And I feel like a lot of people really got into collecting because of that as well. And that's why the community grew so rapidly. It's just a bunch of people that had nothing to do, because we were all being forced to have nothing to do, and we're like, well, we can play with toys that we enjoyed, with franchises and all this stuff. So same thing. I got into it 2020, and it's been great. Been busier every year since, because more and more has been available to do. But yeah, since I started, I've been playing catch up. I've never really been ahead. The only real times I've been ahead on schedule is really when I'm going on vacation, and I kind of try and get ahead, and then when I get back, I'm already instantly behind. So what I'm doing this week, or what I did this week, was on Tuesday I was really trying to get the video up and edited. It wasn't even going to be the video that I wanted. It was another one that I had for this week, but it was going to be on Thursday opposed to Tuesday. But I decided, let me put it in on Tuesday, because I hadn't even filmed Tuesdays yet, and it was Tuesday morning. So I was like, okay, kind of have to pull Thursdays to Tuesdays so I can move Tuesdays to Thursdays. But it was just, a lot was going on, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take the week off. I'm going to focus on getting photography done, focus on getting videos done. So that way I have a inventory of stuff that I can pull from. And so that way I don't have to be running behind constantly. Alright guys, so real quick, sorry about the sudden jump in, I guess, storyline in this podcast, but while I was telling you guys the past story and whatever I was going through, I kind of got a call. I thought it was just a call from somebody that I knew real quick, but it actually turned out to be the people that are trying to hire me and everything. So I, ironically enough, while talking about the future and everything of this channel, other stuff came up as well as stuff that I knew was going to interfere with the channel. But I, ironically enough, my birthday is April 26th, and last year I got to spend it on Maui. I was turning 25, and I was like, you know what? Quarter of a century. If I'm going to turn 25, I got to do it where I want to turn 25 on my terms. Because the next quarter of a century for me personally, well, I guess all of us after 25, is 50. And it's like, do I really want to be doing something fantastically special? I mean, yeah, I probably would. But when I want to look back and be like, damn, last quarter century I was on Maui. This quarter century I'm here. Then when you turn 25 or 75, I'm sorry, you can do something even more exciting, but probably more a little closer to home, depending on your mobility and everything as you age. But yeah, ironically enough, they want me to go back on my birthday to finish out the process to go for the fourth part or the third part. The third part of the process. So yeah, I gotta discuss some stuff with some family, see what's going on, and go from there. But I will keep you guys up to date. But going back to this channel and what I was saying, when I first started it, like I was playing catch up. I still haven't, really gotten ahead, and so I took this week off to just kind of just gather myself. I've seen a lot of mental health stuff going around on YouTube and stuff where a lot of creators are getting burnt out and stuff. And, I understood them, and, they were stepping away, taking some time off. And I really felt like that was the best thing for me to do this week. Not that this really hurts my mental health, because you guys are fantastic. You guys leave me nothing but amazing comments. It's really rare when I get a negative comment, so I really do appreciate it. But it's more on my mental health in terms of me being like, okay, I gotta get this video done. I gotta get it up. I gotta da 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 da. And it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, I gotta get up early to go train a client at 5 a.m. And it's just like, that part is not good for my mental health. It's not that I'm being mentally controlled in a sense. It's just when I get into something, I get into it. I'm disciplined. I'm consistent with it, as consistent as can be. And so for me to break that is very difficult. Same thing when it comes to the gym. I take about maybe 1 or 2 complete weeks off from the gym, like full complete weeks off. Normally it's like right before I start training for a prep, and then right after a prep. But these last few years I haven't trained for a show because I've been taking some time off. So I took I think I took a week off at the end of this past year, and then I took one at the beginning of last year. I don't really remember, but I have a very difficult time of doing that. And so that includes this, what I'm doing here, especially since I've been doing it for 2 years at this point. Well, almost 3, coming up in June. I believe that's when the anniversary of the Cool Figures channel is. I'm really bad with dates and stuff. But I just needed a break. So that's really what it was this week. I needed a break. I needed to play some catch up. I got a lot of toy photography done with my 1/6 scale. That's probably what you're noticing. You're probably noticing a bunch of 1/6 scale figures here missing. I just decided I'm burned out. It's time to get rid of a lot of no, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I'm getting stuff done. So I'm getting toy photography done. I'm getting videos done. So I pulled them out and put them in my review box. It sounds like a fancy box, but it's literally just a cardboard box. I put the figures in that I'm going to take to the garage to review. So they're all in my review box, ready to go. We got photos done. Just have to get the video done. And I'm trying to build up a library of videos so that way I can work on stuff occasionally and not feel so bogged down and forced, and still have stuff to pull from in case of emergency. Let's say I can't get so much done in one weekend. It's okay. I still have like a bunch of videos, ready to go. I'm gonna also try and get ahead on my in-depth toy photography videos, and hopefully I can do that. It's gonna be a little difficult with my throat being the way it is this weekend, but as you can see, as I'm speaking, it seems like it's warming up, and it's getting a little better. When I first started filming, I hadn't been really speaking too much today. I'm home alone, so my voice was just kind of resting. So the fact that I was starting to have to project and everything, it probably was just like, what the fuck. And as I say, I feel like my voice is getting better. My voice starts to go. But anyways, guys, That's pretty much what happened this week. I just needed a break, and it was a beautiful break. I got a lot done. I got to do a little bit of nothing, a little bit of something. And so yeah, we'll be back to regularly scheduled videos this coming week. And yeah, with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and talk about this week's toy haul? As you can see, we got quite a lot going on here from different franchises. Why don't we go ahead and start off with the DeLorean, because this kind of connects to last week's video and stuff, because I was saying how this one right here, the Back to the Future Part 2 Entertainment Earth exclusive one, check out my Entertainment Earth affiliate link down in the description below, was one of the hardest ones to find. And also, when you did find it, it was also one of the more pricey ones. And I was so in distraught last week. I was just like, I'm never going to have the complete set. I even said, like, on last week's podcast that if I could just at least get Back to the Future Part 2, because remember I said how I was supposed to get the rail ready one, and it was the red wheel one, so now I have two red wheel ones, and I don't have the rail. And I was like, if I can just get at least the Back to the Future Part 2, so I can have Back to the Future Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, I will be happy. And I can wait to maybe hopefully come across that rail ready one eventually one day, or go hunting for it at Frank and Sons. And I was just like so mad, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna look one more time on eBay, one more time, because when I had searched it, the only one that popped up was this one that was used, and the front two wheels were popped off and broken, and they didn't have them. And so I was like, fuck, I need to find it. And lo and behold, they had just pretty much uploaded it that day, I think, or maybe that week, and I just hadn't searched for it all week. But somebody put up the Back to the Future Part 2 Entertainment Earth DeLorean, and for under $100, which I was just blown away, because I'd seen it going for $2+. And so I instantly messaged him, and I was like, can you do any kind of deal? And unfortunately, they couldn't work any deal. So I did pay $95, not including shipping, not including taxes, not including eBay fees. So originally, I believe this retailed for $60. So that's really only $35 over retail. Like I said, not including shipping, taxes, and fees. I believe the grand total was $112, which was one of the cheaper ones that I bought. Obviously, the $40, Back to the Future Part 1 being the cheapest one. That was, yeah, couldn't beat that. But yeah, so with this, I complete my collection. Well, ish. So I am. There's only one remaining. So after this, like I said, I just have to find the rail ready one from Part 3, and my collection will be complete. So yeah, super happy to have this, because as you can see, I did also put in like little accessories from the NECA toys. Let me pull it back. I don't even know if the front's on in angle or in frame, because like I said, I completely forgot to pull this from the shelf. And when I realized, I kind of just pulled it off and I put it on the table. I didn't check the framing or anything. But I put a bunch of the fun NECA Back to the Future Part 2 accessories here. I have the Future Cache, or the Emergency Cache, the new gym bag that I did glue together. You can see the glue right there. That's what that is right there. But I did end up gluing it together, because this is still a really cool accessory, and I knew I was going to be getting this. And with that knowledge, I was like, I need this to be complete and working and fixed. So I went ahead and got a toothpick, some Gorilla Glue, and I just put it into the crevice and put it in, and it kind of got a little smudged up, and that's what you see there, that gunk, because even though I only put a little bit, it was such a small little slit that when I put it all together, it kind of still kind of spread out a little too much and whatnot. So yeah, guys, super happy and awesome to have that. And now I really need to do a full, display tour and stuff, because I don't know if you guys can see the tires of them, but there's a whole thing going on up here above the DTOFs. If I can remember, I'll take a video to show you guys, but I am going to do an updated display tour, collection tour soon. I'm just going to rearrange some stuff. So like my TMNT NECA Street Scene display, I'm going to completely rearrange that. So I'm going to move the cartoon stuff down to the lower level, and the 90s stuff to the middle level, and keep the Mirage stuff up top. The Mirage stuff up top is actually just going to be like comic book stuff. And I'm actually going to display my Power Ranger crossover Ninja Turtles up there. Currently, they're in my Power Ranger display. But I'm looking to thin out that display, probably get rid of every team except for the Mighty Morphin and the Time Force team that I have. And of course the monsters, but I'll probably move the monsters to my Mega Figure display or my Monsters display. But speaking on that, we do have an unboxing this week. So I did get this figure in a long time ago. I did technically pre-order it at like the beginning of 2021, expected to get it at the end of 2021, and I didn't end up getting it until end of 2022. But yeah, I was actually gonna just sell this out of the box, or in the box, because like I said, I was already looking to thin out my Power Ranger collection. However, now that I have the Ninja Turtle Power Rangers that are morphed with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I'm thinking of displaying the Ninja Turtles alongside with their respective Rangers. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and keep her and finally open her up. So yeah, this will be this week's unboxing. So yeah, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and talk about this guy right here, this Daredevil. This guy, I had no idea existed. So when it comes to Marvel, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I like Marvel, don't get me wrong. I like Spider-Man. Well, I love Spider-Man. He's, very prominent in my, display right there. But aside from Spider-Man, I mean, Wolverine's cool, Hulk's cool, Cyclops is cool, um, and there's Daredevil. Those are really the only ones that I really like. I really like Daredevil for a number of reasons. One of them being that he is the inspiration for the TMNT Turtles, because they're basically a play on him. That radioactive stuff that got into his eyes. That's essentially what transformed and mutated the turtles. He fights the hand, the Ninja Turtles fight the foot. So it's literally where the inspiration came from. But aside from that, growing up, I watched the animated Spider-Man TV series, and this guy's crossover with him always stuck with me. I also used to watch the old, Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV series, and I had a DVD, version of it. And one of them was the Hulk meets Daredevil, and that was one of my favorite movies to watch growing up of all time. And now looking back, it's pretty impressive that Lou Ferrigno was so massive that they were just like, just paint this guy green and have him growl, and he's our fucking Hulk. Like, nowadays we have a fucking CGI Hulk. This guy was like, fuck CGI. I'm big enough to be the Hulk. But anyway, so Daredevil has always been one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe, especially with the Netflix series and everything. And so, like I said, I had no idea he even existed, guys. I never knew that NECA created a quarter scale Daredevil until I was searching eBay, and I came across him. I believe I was searching for either Dutch or Arkham Knight Batman on eBay, and I happened to come across him and Master Chief, two figures that I didn't know NECA made quarter scales of, and that completely fucked with me because I had to have this guy. This guy looks absolutely phenomenal. Unfortunately, they were asking $200 plus shipping plus taxes plus eBay fees for this guy on eBay, and there was only one, and they were asking $250 for Master Chief plus shipping plus taxes plus the eBay fee. So that's probably going to come out to closer to like $3 for him. And so I kind of put it out of my head. I was like, okay, if anything, this is going to be a grail. If I ever get some decent money, I might just throw some his way and maybe pick him up. So one day I was like, let me go on OfferUp, see if anybody even has it. So I literally searched up quarter scale Daredevil, and one popped up for the same price, $200. But you guys know me, I don't pay full price on OfferUp. And so I went ahead and offered him, I believe, $100 because he had posted it like 5 years ago. So I was like, all right, let's get the ball rolling. 5 years, he's going to want to get rid of it, right? So I offered him 100. Obviously, he said no, he's going to pass. So I was like, okay, 140. And he didn't respond. And I texted him back. I was like, yo, I'm interested. Like, I will pay you cash. Like, just send me a counter offer. Like, just let's talk. Let's negotiate. And he was like, all right, let me get home. And then he was like, 180. And I was like, 150. Did I do 150 or 160? I did one of those two. I did 150 or 160. And I stuck to my guns. And so I ended up picking him up for 150. 150. Yeah, 150. Yeah, because I had to get changed for that 20. So yeah, I ended up getting him for 150, and he is an absolutely phenomenal figure, guys. The detail in his alternate head sculpts, it's absolutely phenomenal. I need to get around to doing my reviews on my quarter scales. But talking about that, I'm not picking up too many new 112 scale figures. And there's an end game when it comes to this. I have a list, and when that end game comes, I'm not picking up any more 1/6 scale figures unless I trade or move or sell or different things. But I have a list, and I have an end game for this. So once that happens, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But in terms of 112, there's not too much that entices me anymore these days either, because I have so much already. And it's really getting to that point where it's like I have so much, and also the space. And I've also, like I've said before, I don't buy just to complete waves and to do this and that. I buy the stuff that I like, that I want in my collection personally. And while I know there's going to be countless new amazing things that come out constantly, I just can't get everything. And so it really brings into question what's the end game for this channel. I'm not one to put things into bins, put things away. So once every crevice is filled, it's done. I'll pick up an occasional figure. So I guess that leads me to say that eventually this channel will become a occasional review channel. Whenever I get a new figure in, occasionally I'll try to put out toy photography videos. I'll still try to put out this podcast if I can. We'll even see if we get there. Like I said, I still have quite a few 1/6 figures to get through, and then let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 quarter scales to go, and that's 2 a week, so that's already 6 weeks plus all those 1/6 scale figures that I have. And that's even that I don't add any new figures. If I get a new 1/6 scale figure in, that's going to push back the quarter scales. If I get another 1/12 scale figure in, I'll throw that in. Like I said, I'm still buying here and there. It's just not as frequent and as often, because I'm pretty content with my collection when I look at it. I really only show off this right here in social media now for some reason, when I really do have a lot, like especially behind the camera and everything. That's why I said I need to do an updated collection tour. But yeah, so I just want to say that eventually this channel will turn into an occasional toy review channel. But until then, guys, I'm gonna keep trudging, keep pushing, keep sending out these reviews, guys. But yeah, so that almost wraps up my collection for the quarter scales, guys. I have a list of 2 more. Master Chief is on that list, but it's really like if I can find him for a good price. If I can't get him for a good price, I'm not going to buy him. And much like this guy, there was only one up for sale on eBay, and none up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and none up for sale on OfferUp. So that one's just a little too much. $250 plus shipping, plus tax, plus eBay fees. That's gonna run you closer to like $280. So I don't know if I'm willing to spend $280 on a Master Chief. I like Halo. Don't get me wrong. Halo is a phenomenal game. I grew up playing it. I love it. I have a little bit of Halo representation in my collection, but it's not worth it for me in my opinion. I want it. I would love to add it to my collection, but it's just not worth it. But we'll see. Maybe I find one for cheaper and we add it. Another one is an ectoskeleton from Terminator. I found one on offer for $70. So if the guy's willing to kind of negotiate on the price and come down, I'm pretty sure I might pick him up. But the thing is, like, all of them have pairs, and I kind of enjoy that. And I still need to rework it a bit and move stuff around, because I really want to put him next to the Ninja Turtles, since their whole inspiration and everything connection. But it's just not working out, especially in the pose that I have him in with all this stuff going on. He really needs some open space right here. And yeah. Anyways, guys, that's just me thinking out loud. Now, let's talk about the final figures right here on the table, and that is the Puzzle Man right here. So this is a third party The Batman Riddler figure right here. I originally only had one of them. Now, these guys never appeared on the table. I did recently pick up the second one this past week. Story time, guys, real quick. I did pick this guy up back when he was first released in December. So he released in, I believe, 3 weeks before Christmas or at the beginning of the month of December. And I remember because I got paid the day he dropped and I ordered him that same day, and he literally showed up to my door, I shit you not, on Christmas Eve. So I got to open him up as a Christmas present to myself. But the reason I got a second one is because this guy actually comes with the ability to be displayed as either the Riddler or the Riddler's henchman. He does come with that amazing sniper rifle right there. So I did really have intentions of picking up a Conundrum Man, which is another third-party Riddler figure. Mainly because he looks a little more like the Riddler character with a more weathered jacket. But this guy popped up on OfferUp, and I got him for the amazing price of, you'll just have to wait and see what I got him for on his episode of OfferUp Buys, because he originally retailed for, I believe, $163 if I'm not mistaken, and so I was really able to get him for an amazing price compared to that. So yeah, when his OfferUp Buy videos drops, definitely check it out, because that's really the only reason I bought a second one of this guy and added him to my collection. So I'm going to speak to my friend Robert, see if he's comfortable weathering soft goods. If he is, I may have him weather up my Riddler figures jacket, so that way he's a little more distinctly different than that guy. Because in the display, under some bright lights, they do look very similar, despite the different props in hand. Very distinct, Riddler props versus henchman prop. Their jackets are just too clean. Well, this guy, it works for this guy because they just bought the jackets new when they were going to go to that event and do his bidding. Whereas his has been with him the entire time he's been doing all the killings, all the traps and everything. So his is a little dirtier. So in the display, they do kind of stand together. But I feel like if I just weather his jacket just a tiny bit, it'll really make him stand out. So I need to talk to my friend Robert about that. But yeah, so I got him for an amazing price, and that's the only reason I went with him in army building and stuff. And so yeah, the Batman display is actually coming together real fine. Just got to get that in art, the Batman, and I believe it's also the same company that did these. No, was it the same company that did? No, it was another company that's coming out with a third-party Penguin figure from the Batman. I think it's Mars Toys. I think Mars Toys is doing the Penguin from the Batman. So I'll be excited when that one drops as well. So with that being said, guys, that wraps it up for this week's toy haul. Now, real quick, before we get into this week's toy news, I do want to talk about, obviously, Mando Episode 5. I had a lot to say, but with my voice being the way it is, it's starting to go and stuff. So I'm just going to make this real quick. First 12 minutes, we don't see Mando. I really didn't like that, but the rest of the episode, I really did enjoy. It seems like they're starting to focus and shift focus on Bo-Katan, which I'm not mad at because Bo-Katan can get it. So I'm pretty happy with the direction they're going. I just hope that Mando tags along with her wherever she's gonna go, so that way he's still somewhat present in the series. But I'm enjoying where it's going so far. I'm just hoping they stop wasting time, not spending time with the characters they should be spending time with. And yeah, with that being said, John Wick Chapter 4, guys. No spoilers, but just go fucking see John Wick Chapter 4. If you have not seen John Wick Chapter 4, go see it. This movie works so well because, like, its first movie, it's original, it's full circle, it's just amazingness. Like, so much full circleness comes together. It's like, just go watch it, guys. Definitely go watch it. I highly recommend it. I wanted to talk spoilers and do this whole part of it in this podcast, but like I said, my voice in my throat. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get over into this week's toy news. Thankfully, there's not too much, but there is a bit. So let's go ahead and kickstart with my personal favorite company, Mezco Toys. And once again, I had a lot to say in this section because aside from this week's pre-order for their Mezco Toys 112 Collective Storm Shadow, which actually does look pretty good and comes with a lot of great accessories, I may end up picking up this guy in Snake Eyes once he does release somewhere on OfferUp or on an online store. I don't know, because they are only $95, which is not bad, considering that they're like ninja characters, come with a bunch of great accessories. They're also a franchise character, so $95, that's not too bad, especially in this economy and what they're charging for other figures and whatnot. So yeah, but aside from that, obviously the biggest news in the toy community is that not only has Batman 89 charged and been notified to people, but it has officially hit people's doorsteps, and we are getting photos and first views. And in the words of my friend Robert, who he himself does have one, I personally do not have one, so I don't feel right saying anything about it because I do have a lot to say about it, but I personally don't have one. But in his words, from a person that pre-ordered it 3 years ago, has been anticipating it for the past 3 years, has been begging Mezco for any kind of updates on it for the past 3 years, he says it looks great. He hates the rubber. He hates the cape. 5 out of 10. Yes. Unfortunately, it's not the best figure, and I feel like it's been ready for the past 3 years, and it's been sitting on their warehouse shelves for the past 3 years because of the way the rubber looks. And the reason I say this is because it seems like Warner Brothers was kind of putting the stop on Mezco releasing it to wait to get that hype behind the Flash, where they bring back Michael Keaton's The Batman. And because literally we get the Flash trailer with Michael Keaton Batman, and next thing you know it, Mezco's sending out all these updates and alerts and notifications about Mezco's Batman. Silence for the past 3 years, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose with the notifications. There has to be some kind of correlation there, in my opinion. But yeah, it just it misses the mark on so many levels, and Mezco's really gonna feel it on this one. But let's be honest, guys. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of Mezco, you're gonna continue to buy Mezco. They are the best in the 1/12 fully soft good game. I mean, there are third companies out there that do some great stuff, but I mean, all in all, Mezco does some amazing work. So, like I said, me personally, I wasn't even collecting at the time. I wasn't collecting Mezco at the time when they even solicited the pre-orders for this guy. And I've already made it known that Batman 89 isn't like my favorite Batman. He's a great Batman, don't get me wrong. He's phenomenal. I have a Beast Kingdom version of him, which is enough for me personally. I don't need a 1/12 or a 1/6 or a 1/4 scale version of Michael Keaton's Batman. Now Val Kilmer's Batman, now Christian Bale's Batman, now Ben Affleck's Batman, now Robert Pattinson's the Batman. I do need some 1/6 scale representation from, in terms of quarter scale, maybe one day. That's the thing that's been picking at me recently is a quarter scale. I think because I just released the new Batman quarter scale from The Dark Knight, that I'm just like, damn, that does look good. But you know what? In watching the review, it has a lot of rubber pieces, which is the same issue with the Mezco Batman 89, and I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole. But I am curious, if you pre-ordered Batman 89 or if you've seen the pictures, what are your thoughts on Batman 89 from Mezco Toys? Let me know down in the comments below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and talk some McFarlane Toys news. So, from their DC Direct line, they are releasing a 1/2 Harley Quinn baseball bat. It seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity not just to release a 1/1 scale of a baseball bat. It seems a lot easier. However, I can see why they're not doing that, only because of safety reasons. And maybe also because of, display reasons. A bat is way longer, but that one's like a mini bat. But it's something, I guess. But aside from that, they did reveal their next statue, and it is of Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This is their next 12-inch DC Multiverse statue, and it looks absolutely phenomenal, I have to say. I am not the biggest Superman fan. I have one Mezco Superman, one Hot Toy Superman, just because he came with Batman, although it is the black suited Superman, which is actually pretty fucking badass. It stands on in the display seem as it's not a normal Superman, and so I do have a few, but I don't have too much of him. But this statue actually looks really fucking good enough for me to go. I can clear off enough space to fit a 12-inch Superman statue, which I wouldn't think I'd be saying anytime soon, but it looks pretty fucking great. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk some NECA news. They didn't have too much to show off, I guess. They had some new D&D characters, Strongheart and Zarak. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna go see the new D&D movie. I kind of want to. I might just wait for a matinee to go see it. It looks funny. It looks interesting. I just feel like I have other stuff to do this weekend that's a little more pressing and important. And next week we do have what movie's coming out next week? Is it Mario? I think it's Mario that's coming out next week, so I'm pretty hyped to see that. So I'm definitely gonna be seeing that. So I think I'm gonna take a weekend off from the movies and go ahead and go see D&D probably later on during the week, like an early showing or something. I don't know. But aside from that, their haulathon is still going on at Target, and they released a few other figures like Alf, the Munsters, and also the Casey Jones as Phantom of the Opera. So yeah. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Super 7 real quick, because recently they did announce their latest line of the TMNT Super 7 Ultimates. However, there was a lot of stuff to be said about that Rat King, and so they decided to go ahead and pull back and replace them with Karai in this wave. So they're going to go back to the drawing board. At least they're listening to their fans and pulling them back on him and giving them a version that they actually want, which makes sense in the long run, at least even for them, because how would they benefit from releasing a figure nobody wants? It's just going to end up on clearance. It's going to end up on sale. There's nothing to gain from them, So I think they saw that and they wised up. They didn't Hasbro it. I'm laughing because we're going to talk about Hasbro. But, they listened to their fans and they said, okay, we're going to pull this back. We're going to go back to the drawing board, rework it, and here's another figure in the meantime. So, yeah. Good of them for that. I would kind of rework the price if I were them too, but that's probably a discussion about something else. But next up, let's go ahead and talk about Ramen Toys. I really don't know this company. I don't know if it's a well-known company or if it's something new, but they are dipping into Top Gun and making a Maverick 1/12 figure. Doesn't look the best in my opinion. It looks a little it's the flight suit. Like, I don't know. It's in my opinion, it's just not what I would want. I would want a more soft gooded Top Gun figure. This is a hard plastic one, so that's just me personally. I am going to be getting a 1/6 scale Top Gun figure, and that will complete my 80s display. Like I said, Endgame is in mind, so that will actually complete one of my cubes. So that's pretty exciting. I just need to pick it up. I just need to buy it, but I have other stuff that I've been picking up in the meantime. I just need to bite the bullet and pick that up. But anyways, guys, going back to Ramen Toys, they are creating a flight suited Top Gun figure, whereas the one I want is more of like a casual leather jacket and jeans one. But anyways, guys, that is coming to your 1/12 scale collection very soon. If you are interested, go ahead and check out Ramen Toys. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Hasbro and Star Wars, guys. They did have one single announcement this week, and that is their Pike Soldier from Book of Boba. I really don't know. Like, I guess if you need this guy, but he's an army builder, but he's also like expensive as fuck at this point with Black Series being the way they are. So yeah, Black Series Pike Soldier. If you need him, he's coming out. And surprisingly, no Marvel Legends news, which is kind of good because there's been a lot of Marvel Legends news, so they're saving your wallet this week, guys. I think they heard the SH Figuarts Spider-Man hitting, people's wallets this week, and they're like, you know what, let's hold back, so that way people don't pass on our stuff and actually pick it up when it comes out, because they'll have gone paid again and they'll have forgotten that they just paid $100 for another Spider-Man figure. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this week's toy news, guys. So before we wrap up this week's episode, guys, we do have this week's unboxing. Like I said, I am going to display my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers alongside my Turtles. So I am going to need a Pink Ranger. Even though April is technically the Pink Ranger and she's just another human, not a turtle, it will just make more sense if I have the complete team there. So we do have the Hasbro Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger. And this was the final Mighty Morphin Ranger that I needed in order to complete my Ranger team. But like I said, I had decided to just sell them. But now that I decided to do this, we do have Pink Ranger right here. So here's a nice tray shot so you can see all the great stuff that she does come with. And now let's go ahead and liberate her from her plastic prison. One cut there. And she's free. Oh, man. Rubber band's disintegrating already. So yeah, here we have her all ready to go up against some putties. Yep. So, great addition to the collection, to complete the collection, at least for the Mighty Morphin Rangers. But yeah, with that being said, guys, that wraps it up for this week's episode. As always, thank you so much for spending this time with me in this week's podcast. As always, shout out and thank you to channel sponsor, Entertainment Earth. Check out my Entertainment Earth affiliate link down in the description below to check out some cool figures, get some free shipping, and of course, help support the channel. With that being said, guys, I've been your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. And as always, have a great fucking day.
Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at Cool Figures. And I do also have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by Cool Figures. Check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at Cool Figures. That's where I post all of my unboxings. And check me out every Sunday for Coffee and Toys, a weekly Toy News Toy Talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reveals, pre-orders, weekly toy haul, and so much more. And join me every Wednesday over on Instagram for Coffee and Toys Live, where I will speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy hunting, toy photography, and so much more. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it.